I'm here with Tavis and Ryan from Newchip, and Ryan was telling us a little bit about the story, how the background was kind of formulated. Where is Newchip right now, and what was the rest of the story leading into this launch?
So right now we're in development and getting ready to launch. We're in beta testing. We launch next month.
Okay.
We'll have our official launch in South by this year. Having a big event. Looking forward to have a lot of people in there. Partnering with Youngry on top of it. So how we got to where we are today. So back to my story a little bit. I was in China, crowdfunding, etc. I read this World Bank report. And I said I got to be a part of this. And so I reached out to all the platforms I could see, like they were launching. And I said, okay, I want to launch a platform. And I realized I was a little bit late to the game. So I said, okay, what can I do to add to this market? What can I look 6 months ahead in the future, figure something out? And the only thing I've ever used in our business, I learned from business school when I went to McCombs, was the e-commerce model. The e-commerce model goes platform, marketplace, aggregator. And everybody's focusing on platforms. I said, okay, can we, their goal is to be a marketplace. Can we build an aggregator and really collect all these deals together? Because the issue is, there's so many platforms, hundreds of platforms in the market. As an investor, as an entrepreneur, you don't want to register for every single one. Right. Nobody wants to register for one. You want to see all the deals in a single place. Actually, you want to see so many deals and have so much flow that we can connect specific deals to you based on your interest. Wow. And so I said, let's build it. So I set out on the path to find another. I'm an engineer. I'm an electrical engineer. So I can build things, design things, but I don't really code much. So I said, okay, I got to find a developer that's done this before, who's been in the market, experienced veteran. I went on this search for 2 months to find a perfect CTO. After interviewing almost every CTO in Austin, I'm pretty sure I've interviewed every one. A lot of them are really interested in fintech in this market. Happened upon Tavis, and everything just really connected in both the business side, but also our core beliefs and the social impact side. We wanted to give back to entrepreneurs. We spent a lot of our time helping entrepreneurs and helping them build their business without charging, without anything. So I said, okay, let's start this together. And that's kind of how we are. We started fundraising, and we were in stealth the first 6 months to get all the legal and everything kind of sorted out, working with partners. But now I'm happy to say we've cornered the majority of the market share. So we've got most of the market kind of partnered with us, and we're looking forward to a great launch. And I'll let you, Tavis, give a little bit of intro and talk about him.
So the chosen CTO, what's your background?
Well, I've been in startups for actually 20 years.
Okay.
So I'm probably on the far edge of Youngry, but
it's young in spirit.
I'm still very going after it. But yes, thank you. Really started my career in the early days of e-commerce. How to do things like how do shopping carts work, how do you take credit cards and things like this. So I've been really involved with right out of the gate the evolution of everything internet and commerce. So.
So what was it about Newchip, this opportunity? Obviously, Ryan came to you. What was it that got you excited about it?
Well, I've been watching equity crowdfunding for almost 4 years. Okay. Really actually not sitting on the fence, waiting to pounce. And it really took 4 years after it being passed to actually go into law, become law. And so I had actually given up on the space. I wanted to raise originally, but I knew it was going to be a massive shift in the economy. But by the time it came around, I had already kind of moved on, started doing something else, and then I had heard the law finally passed in May, and I was looking to go after that opportunity.
So I don't know if you guys know, but Youngry, we raised $67,000.
Yep. Congratulations.
With our first partner, Republic.
Republic, right. So I see a lot of these platforms. As you mentioned, there's tons of platforms, but there isn't one spot to see all the deals. Do you think that many platforms will exist 2 years from now, or will there be more?
So part of it is everybody says they won't exist, but we're the solution to making sure they exist.
Got it.
I believe in a large network of platforms that are niche focused. I believe in helping them support the platforms. Creating this aggregator allows us to kind of source them and allow the platforms to do what they do best. Find deals. They're the deal makers. They're not the marketers. They really want to find good deals, and they want to help connect their communities to funding. And so we want to be the national kind of marketplace for that. And then as we see it evolve, I think we'll have platforms specifically working in niche areas. So from film to wine to certain types of technology and apps, and that way, because they don't have to look for investors anymore. They can work with us. and our investors work with them.
Got it.
I've always kind of taken a counter approach to most markets, and I think a lot of people are saying, you know, platform consolidation, there's only going to be one or two big guys left. I really see a different future for startups. I see a lot more smaller businesses, and I just see the volume that is about to occur in the United States especially. It's going to require a lot more platforms than anybody could ever imagine. There's not one giant source of funding, I think, that can handle that type of the uniqueness of each entrepreneur, the different markets, the localized nature of the industry. So I'm seeing a picture of, you know, hundreds of platforms in the very near future, and all of them being successful in their own way. Maybe not giant, massive platforms, but necessary platforms to get capital in the right hands.
Right, because I'd say there are some giant platforms right now, like Indiegogo. I would consider that a giant platform.
Yeah. So think about it. There's 2,000 or over 2,000. Actually, even sure number of crowdfunding platforms in the world.
There's over 2,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so when you consider that number, and you know that includes most of the maybe there's some that are just like I can start my own right now. That's probably not on that list.
Yeah.
But you think about it, even in Austin, we have our own like Reggae Plus, and like Texas, like crowdfunding, like a mini angel list for Texas for angels.
Wow.
And so think about it, you know, that's just Texas. You think about it for every state, for every city. There's a lot of investors that work together and syndicate, and this gives them the ability to kind of work together. There's funders club. I mean, there's so many different, like a lot of the big platforms, what they're trying to do right now is become like a mega platform by like sourcing syndicates and plugging some of the smaller platforms in. WeFunder, they're actually looking at a licensing model where they're licensing other platforms through them, into their software, to make it easy for people to start platforms. So I think we'll get to a point where starting a platform is very easy, and then the quality will be the issue. So maintaining quality, and that's where we're kind of the gatekeeper of the quality of platforms and who we work with, and if there's any issues, we just take everything down. It's a little bit easier for us to take something down across the network than it is for a single platform to take their number one deal down.
So who is the target audience for you guys? Who is a good fit to use the Newchip service?
So we're looking for millennials.
Okay.
So specifically millennials, it's 18 to about 35. Really, for me, it's more 21 to 25, 18 to 21. They really love our market. They want to be a part of it, but they can't afford it.
Got it.
So I think they should take a couple of years and try it out and maybe follow on. Because they're doing Kickstarter and crowdfunding anyway. That's the problem is sometimes we'll talk to some investors and they're like, oh, people, you know, why would millennials want to do this? They're already doing it.
Yeah.
They've already put over like almost $3 billion in Kickstarter and Indiegogo the last couple of years. Millennials are putting lots of money into these things they believe in and they want to. And the thing is now they're getting older, they want to own it. But the call of the generation is, I want to own this. I can't afford to own a house, can't afford to own a car, but I can damn sure afford a startup, and I can own part of that. And I can become an entrepreneur through it. I can learn about everything I need to know to start my own business down the line. I can follow them in this journey and be a part of that and learn from their mistakes. I can, it's not just like, everybody loves Shark Tank. People actually, so when they started Shark Tank, they thought that it would only be for accredited investors and that the regular everyday American wouldn't like it. Next thing you know, it's a primetime TV show, #1 show in America for families.
Yeah.
Because the core of who we are is entrepreneurs. All Americans are entrepreneurs. We want to believe that everyone's idea can be successful if given the right kind of work and persistence, right? And so the thing is, every American wants to do now is after being years watching Shark Tank, their numbers are starting to slide a little bit because then people want to invest in those companies. It's like these are they're getting revved up to the climax, and then okay, the show's over.
Right.
So you pitch them, you sell them to these companies. They don't want to be just consumers anymore. They want to consume and invest. And so giving these people the opportunities to do that is really exciting. And so that's why we're targeting this market. We're not targeting accredited investors. The CAC, customer acquisition cost, is way too high for accredited investors. That's for the startups to still do on their own. The startups, like when they launch a crowdfunding platform, they still need to go work with the accredited investors. They need to find the $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 checks, and then rely on the crowd to fill the rest. And then that's where we come in with the crowd. If they can get the messaging right, get everything else right, and the marketing, then the crowd will support it, and their consumers will become their investors.
So do you guys help craft the actual message?
No. So that's on the platform themselves. We are considering right now working with partner services. We'll probably launch that pretty soon. So when companies do come through us from refer process, we actually were planning on this with several of the platforms we've offered up to work with us as referrals. So we help connect them to startup deals, and we help get the startups ready to go. And so we'll connect them to our referred platform partners, people they can trust, to help with their messaging, consultants, things like that, to help them get just perfectly right for the crowdfunding message, get the market right, so that they don't waste a lot of money on it, or just tell spend a couple $100 to have someone tell them, okay, this is not right for you.
Got it. And from the tech side of things, how are you building the platform to house and aggregate so many different platforms so that people can really divulge the information in an easy and effective way?
Yeah, so we're the systems-wise, we're not talking about tremendous level of enterprise data. There's only 200, 300 deals. Even at 1 million deals, we're not talking about hyper complex data repository on the deal side. However, the type of system we're building is behavior tracking. We're gonna watch how the users interact with the deals themselves.
Right.
Click on it, view it, invest in it, the momentum of those deals to help serve up content based off of preferences, and then combine preferences of users like each other to say, ultimately, you might be interested in looking at this deal over these deals.
So will it be dynamic then?
Very dynamic, preference-based, with a little machine learning built in to get exactly the deal that's most likely to appeal to each individual investor.
That's awesome.
And distilled into a simple mobile application is our primary focus right now. And yeah, that's what we're going after. Millennials is a core focus of us, not to pander to that demographic like most businesses, but we believe there's a revolution sort of bubbling up right now.
Yeah.
And rather than just being a consumer product that's branded towards a millennial market because they want the money, we actually believe we can cause a massive amount of change in the world through our platform.
I think the other thing you guys should look into is, I know I hit my entrepreneur spirit. I mean, I had it throughout my life, as you mentioned, as an American, it's built in. But the real point where I realized I wanted to be an entrepreneur was when I was working in corporate America. After 7 months, I was like, I want to spend kind of my creative energy and really go after something simultaneously with corporate America. So I think incorporating not only millennials, as I wasn't and still am a millennial, but millennials that are not fulfilled with their day job, somehow going after that market. The question I had, since you guys are targeting millennials, a lot of millennials don't have that passive income to spend on this. How do you guys plan to offset that?
So the good thing about that is we've done a lot of research in our marketing research side nationally. We found that millennials, a lot of them don't have that income.
Right.
What they think would be an equitable investment, of what they want to put in, $10,000. They want to feel like a shark and say, I want to put in this much money. The good thing about it is they can invest the same amount of money or a smaller amount of money compared to the sharks and the big investors, but with similar terms.
Got it.
They get equitable terms. And so it's really nice on that part, that they can feel a part of it, they can take part in the same ventures as them. What we do is actually we have a payment plan system we came up with called crowd financing. So if you're a millennial and you're a high earner, but you don't have a ton of just spare income, most Americans don't. Almost half of Americans don't have more than $400 in the bank. And it's not because they don't make money. A lot of Americans are just high earners, and their money's tied up in capital somewhere else. Tied up in an investment account, tied up in a house or a mortgage. So we decided to create a way that allowed people to invest $1,000 up front and then pay it out over time in payment plans. So basically you invest $1,000 in a deal, in one deal, 10 deals, whatever, and then they can then pay it out over time, $100 a month was budgetable.
Wow.
And because these are all time-based deals, and you only have like 15, 20 days left in a deal you want to get in part of, so you can say, okay, I want to be part of it. And the great thing is, you can pull out of it like 48 hours beforehand. And so it's really interesting how that works. And then, like, you Joe Blow startup, one of your friends comes to you and says, hey, you want to invest in my company? Your money's kind of probably gone, not a lot of disclosure. So we're kind of trying to fix the friends and family round right now. We're trying to make a safer, more disclosed, more due diligence friends and family round. You can then pull out if you want to. The company's, because it's crowdfunding, the core idea of crowdfunding is you have to reach your goal to secure all the capital.
Right.
So if you're raising $1 million, you need $1 million in commitments to get that money.
Got it. So this is that's similar to how Kickstarter does theirs as opposed to Indiegogo.
So it's very much a Kickstarter for professional investing, without all of the issues of Kickstarter with companies that just list whatever they want, fake videos. Actually, there's a lot of due diligence done behind on the platform side, and then also the SEC signs off the deals. There's audits done.
That's what I like about equity crowdfunding is if you are on one of these platforms, there's due diligence that has been done on your startup. It's not just you listing it. There's a lot of regulation. Can you talk about how that regulation offsets a little bit of the warnings and the danger in maybe investing and losing your money right away?
Sure. So I'm legally required to, if I'm not giving investment advice as our company, we're trying to.
Right.
I'm also, disclaimer-wise, you can lose all your capital. You can very likely lose money. investing in startups is not a safe business. It's not as dangerous as people say. People say 9 out of 10 startups fail. Actually, there's only a 12.5% failure rate in the UK in this market.
Okay.
In the US, there's over 56% failure rate. So you're looking at a 5-time higher failure rate in regular startups than you do in equity crowdfunding startups. And that's a really important risk adaptation. It's a lot safer than that. And then also you think about it in terms of possible gain and reward. So if you invest in the stock market right now, you might get a 2-time, 3-time return someday. In equity crowdfunding, you can get a 100-time return someday. Mm-hmm. You can find the next Facebook. You can find $1 billion company. It's not guaranteed. Otherwise, everybody would be putting their money to it. There's a reason only the 1% could invest in this, and why the 1% have used it for over 100 years to generate wealth.
Right.
And now the 99% can now take part of it. And there's a lot of 1% that are kind of upset. The 99% can't. They say they don't have the ability to. They don't have the due diligence. They don't have the intelligence to. Well, the problem is the crowd is the market. They are the validators. So if the market says a company should exist, it should. Virtual reality, not a single VC or 1%. No big credit investor would touch virtual reality for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. The crowd came together through Kickstarter and Indiegogo and crowdfunded virtual reality. And next thing you know, it's a $1 billion industry in just 2-3 years. So it's what the market wants, and that's where VCs and angels and the credit investors kind of get lost. Is they've been so disconnected from the market. Like they invest in a company because they think it's really cool, they think it has a high profit return, and then they spend money into market testing and market due diligence, market validation. The equity crowdfunding has market validation tested and built into it. All these companies are already existing, they're already doing sales, and the companies and the consumers that support them are wanting to invest. There's nothing that says more about your vote than putting money to it. If we were required to pay $1,000 to vote for a political candidate, very few people would go out and vote.
Right.
Or at least they would vote in a very specific way.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot more learning and behind it. So always put your dollar where your vote is and where your mouth is. And so that's where the crowd comes in with every crowdfunding.
Mm-hmm. So I know for me personally, as a millennial, I think it would be tough to spend $1,000 investing. But it seems like the process is you're taking the friction out of it, right?
Yep. We're trying to make it as simple as possible.
Right.
The minimum investment is $100 in a company. So if you wanted to invest $100 in this company this month, $100 next month, you can. Or if you want to, if you have a job and you have a pretty good income and you can afford it, you can do the payment plan.
Right.
So we work basically the same hand in hand. It's not a simple process as you can just apply and get it. We have to do credit approval. Everything has to work as you would for everything else. Most Americans, the reason we built it in is most Americans want that. 80% of Americans prefer to use credit or some kind of payment plan for any purchase over $1,000. So we said, okay, why can't we bring that to investing? It's like trading on margins. Yeah. And it's like trading on small margins. People aren't leveraging their houses, their mortgage like that. It's $1,000.
Right.
It's affordable, $100 a month. And if you use the income checks and credit checks, everyone should afford it. Even if you lost your job, you lost your house, and you have the savings, you can afford to pay off the last $400 of your thing. Or if someone doesn't, the side of default is kind of an interesting story. So there's a lot of things we do with the defaults. So we're estimating about a 1% default right now. So how do we do it? Well, the great thing is they're tied to actual equities. So there's in a company itself. So the equity is worth something. We can sell it back to the company. So we can put it on our secondary market. There's all different kinds of ways we can recycle it into an investment fund. There's all different kinds of ways we can deal with the defaults. Unlike the peer-to-peer lending market right now, it's about a $24 billion industry, and there's no securitization whatsoever. There's nothing to it. You don't attach your house, your home, anything like that. There's not a lot of assets that are worth very little amount. These loans attached to it. So we're doing that in a way that's novel and new. To get the legal on board and to do all of it took a long time, and a lot of the laws don't exist. So we're going to be working with regulators to help craft new laws and make this happen.
Got it. Have you seen anything as far as what millennials are looking for in campaigns, genre-wise?
Alcohol.
Lots of alcohol.
Alcohol.
Yeah, things that they love the most. Alcohol, parties, events, travel. So breweries are doing very well. Alcohol brands have been doing very well.
I think there's something deeper than just drinking, though. Yeah. A lot of brands that are succeeding have an experience tied to it.
Okay.
So, what goes along with a cool brewery is the bar itself or their location and the idea of owning part of the experience of going to hang out there and saying, I own a piece of this place.
Got it.
And sharing that with their friends or getting special invitations because they're part owner of the company and throwing monthly bashes that are exclusive where the stakeholder might have 3 or 4 tickets that they can invite their friends along with. Now Right,
I'm
that's
excited about
very
that.
very appealing to that demographic, right?
Yeah.
Going along for the ride and bringing their friends along with them is a key component that really drives investment, I think.
Completely get
If you
that.
think about it, when you're in corporate America, so there's actually a lot of corporations that are really trying to find ways to keep their employees, keep millennials. Millennials are dropping out of the workforce like flies, start
I believe
buildings.
it.
And so think about corporate America. What would it, help you get through some of that risk? Like you're in the safest job, big income. That's why millennials are taking a lot of risk because they feel like it's too safe. There's not enough risk in their job. It's too long of a ladder. They want to move things now. So they're impatient. They want to invest something right now. So think about a high income. You're making 60 to 100 grand corporate job. What's an exciting investment for you? Forex trading? Probably not. Investing in Apple stock? Probably not. Investing in these cool startups and these experiences, even if you might lose money in some of these deals.
Yeah.
But to go and be a part of it, to go to their launch, to follow this company, to know all the processes, to learn about it, to get to be that level of investor that's way over here, but to learn from all these other investors at the same time. It's you're paying for the experience, you're paying for the ride along with it. So while we can't promise 100x return or anything, we can promise an experience. We can promise you'll learn something. We can promise that you're going to be a part of something that's going to change who you are as a person, how you invest, how you live your life, how you look at deals.
Yeah.
And
if you look at how millennials break down personality-wise, they're very experiential. And I think that's one of the biggest things. So capturing that, as you guys have done, obviously, I think is a huge part to appealing to that entire demographic. As a millennial, I completely get the investing for those types of genres that relate to millennials. And you mentioned travel. Can you speak a little bit more about that?
apps, companies along the way. So things that they can go see whenever they go to a place. They see a company in LA, like a brewery here or somewhere in LA. They want to check it out and they want to invest in it. There's a company. Get back on alcohol, but remember those little popsicles we had as a kid?
Yeah.
They made those, or they now make them with alcohol, and they stay frozen longer. And they, how they sold it in the video was, hey, these are all, they're taken off in South Padre, all these spring break trips. People tried them even when oh, I never had those spring break last year. What do I have in the U.S.? So companies said, okay, now we're launching nationally, and so these things that they've experienced in other places, they can experience in other places. They're investing in and bringing it to other markets.
The other thing from the millennial standpoint is now you can basically be an angel investor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
absolutely right.
Every sense of the word.
And recruit your friends too.
Right.
Be a syndicate.
Imagine going along, imagine, the missing out on, you're in a group of your 10 friends and you're the one kid in the group that didn't buy into the travel deal. He's the one left out, right? Wouldn't it be great to just go get, $99 a month type crowd financing option to just get on the bus?
Right.
All your friends are going to, Fiji or wherever they're going, right?
Is there any type of built-in referral program? Well,
There is.
as you were saying that.
You asked that.
So break it down. That's what I'm interested in. You mentioned you were a connector earlier. I think I could get 9 people to invest in a company that I was passionate about. So what's the referral program?
So we have a referral program based off of the fees we charge and the credit line charges. So we give you $5 per user. $5 to sign up. $5 for every user that registers and makes it through. And then also there's different levels of referrals. We're going to be working on additional features as we go along, we launch, based on user feedback. So everything we've done is based off user feedback. I did a large national survey on millennial market when we first started because I wanted to know what millennials wanted. And it changed how I even built the product. I said, this is how we want it this way, but actually the market wants it this way. And so I'm very big on working to what the market wants. And so the referral process can be very much built and tied in. I loved how Uber and Lyft have done their program, bring ambassadors on board. We're going to bring on an ambassador program. And so we have decided on the full details of that. We're also going to be working with the millennials that use our app to see what they want. What will bring you on board to give you more drive to sell this product for us, to bring it out and bring your friends in, to syndicate, to bring more investors on. So there's a huge referral process. Right now we have a referral process even online. You can go register for the website, newchip.co, sign up, refer your friends. We've had people referring friends. We had a guy last week, he was typing in his friends' emails. And we're like, hey, it's the name of Aunt address. He's like, oh, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
That's awesome. So is it tied to people's first investment, or is it just signing up?
So there's different fees and things that we're going to be charging for the whole process. For the most part, our platform is totally free.
Okay.
And to invest is completely free. To use the crowd financing, we do charge a rate for it. And so we'll be taking off of that. So if you refer your friends, you can get almost nearly free.
Yeah.
And then we'll also have the partner services and things, and we'll work with different platforms and different partners to bring those things together, the revenue streams, but also to bring great products to our users.
So do you guys have an official launch date, or?
Yeah, so the app will be launching February 15th.
Okay.
And the full launch, I believe that everything we can will be in South by. So 15th is pretty much our app launch, and we want to get our dashboard and everything out by the South by launch. But if anything, we want to have the crowd financing, everything set up by then too.
And you mentioned South by. Is there anything you guys are doing particular for South by?
So yeah, we're putting together a big event. We'll put the details on this. We're submitting them right now with our partners, so we can't say much on it yet.
Okay.
But by the time this comes out, we'll probably attach it in. There's some great info. Partner with Youngry, partner with a couple other people to bring together a really great South by experience. I was talking earlier about this cricket company and different cool things we can have.
Not cricket, but
yeah, edible crickets.
Edible
Yeah, edible
The crickets
crickets.
you eat, not the crickets.
Yeah, edible crickets, and all the cool different things we can have at our expo.
Absolutely.
Because it's all about the experience. That's the thing that South by's kind of like let me down on the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
If some of the expos and accelerators stuff hasn't been a really great experience. It's just really busy and there's a little bit of alcohol. So we want to have a great party, great food, great startups, cool things, and real honest, genuine people there.
Mm-hmm.
Honest genuine startups, this industry, things that regular people can be a part of. So we love our event totally open to the public. We're having a big launch party. It was one of the biggest parties last year. We're partnering with to do it this year.
Awesome.
And we're doing it all on a budget, getting as much as we can sponsored, and getting the whole community to come together. What we are is a community business, and we've done this with very little capital in our fundraise. And we've bootstrapped. I sold my house, sold my car to be a part of this. We've raised significant capital. On top of that, but really to get where we are and what people estimated would have cost us to get here is a fraction of what it really would have. People were estimating at the very beginning. So people were telling me it was going to cost $1 million to legal. I said, nah, I don't know. I got 5 years. I'll do most of the legal myself.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, congratulations. Everyone out there, I'm sure, is looking forward to the launch. And great to interview you.
Thank you very much. Sign up at newchip.co.
Newchip.co.